Good morning, mummies. It's Easter Monday for us all. We've gathered together today to discuss our weekly topic, and today's topic is homeschooling. Thank you for joining in today. I have here Victoria, Alessandra, Nat, and Veronica. Can you please introduce just briefly yourselves and where you are from, because we are here from different countries, and just briefly about your children and what you are at the moment. Veronica, Victoria?
Sure, yes, thank you. So my name is Victoria, and I live in Belgium, and I have two kids, one of 4.5 and one of almost 2 years old.
Thank you so much. Alessandra?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Alessandra. I live in the UK. I'm originally from Italy. I have two children as well. One is nearly 6 and one is 1.5 years old.
Thank you so much. Nat?
My name is Natalia. I live in Cyprus and I have one boy. He's 3.5 years old.
Thank you so much. And Veronica?
Hi, my name is Veronica Patik. I live in the UK, but originally I'm from Republic of Moldova, and I have 3 children, 16, 14, and 11.
Thank you so much, Veronica. And I will say my name is Sabina. I'm Sabina Cassian. I'm also mom at home. I have a 5-year-old boy, and I'm a teacher. And the reason we are doing this is to help moms. Today's topic, we agreed to discuss about homeschooling. I know it's a challenging one because we all put into this. I would like it just to ask how you cope with this homeschooling. Because as for me, I didn't have any issues because I work in schools, and for me the transition to get to homeschool my child wasn't very difficult, because I know his routine. The fact that I needed just to transition him to the home was a little bit challenging, because I needed to explain my child what's going to happen, that we're going to stay for longer at home. So this conversation really helped my child to get this transition easier. But I know many of you had certain difficulties because you're not in a school, you're not working in school, so you have different backgrounds, and I know that all kind of most of moms has this difficulties. Well, does any of you want to share over your opinions on this?
If you allow me, I just want to jump in here, because it's a fresh off the press, as they say. You know, yesterday we were having a call with our granddad, so my father, and he was showing us a small video of a boy somewhere in Asia, I suppose China, I don't know, who was saying, my friends, how are you doing? I hope you're healthy. I don't want to be at home anymore. Mommy is always upset with me and is shouting, and she explains things in a way I don't understand. I want to go back to school. You know, this made, you know, tears roll up my eyes, and I thought, my God, I understand what you're talking about, because in the end, what I see is happening a lot in the Western world is that, you know, in general, I'm becoming a little philosophical here, but we are so far removed from the family. I mean, Sabina, your case is slightly different because you work with children, so you are connected with them on a daily basis. But for a lot of people who work in corporate environment, you know, everything is done to spend very little time with kids, so that kids are taken care of by someone else. So they have zero experience, or very, very, very little experience, you know, to spend a lot of time with kids on the one hand. And on the other hand, lucky are those families who live with their grandparents nearby, because then the kids, at least they can see their grandparents, who are only in love with the time they spend with their grandchildren. But for a lot of people, you know, they have been removed and they have been imposed this way of living and started even thinking that this is their right way to do it. And then suddenly, weeks and weeks on, you have to spend 24 hours with your kids, and you cannot go out. You cannot take them to the park. You cannot take them to the theme park or cinema or anywhere else. It's at home. Good if you have a garden, but if you are living in an apartment, tough luck for you. So this has been such a dramatic change in the lifestyle, and I think a lot of people are probably rethinking, you know, the way they have been living so far, and I hope they have started thinking that they should spend more time with their family, you know, to learn how to be with children and with every member of the family. So I think today's topic is very, very useful for a lot of women out there who, you know, who are struggling to find a way to keep their kids busy or happy, you know, and also maintain their own balance and find time for themselves.
I agree 100% with that, V, and I would say as a suggestion to all other mums that are listening to us at the moment, they are at home in a new situation, you know, with their children. I think one of the main things that they have to think about is don't beat yourself up, you know. Yes, we need to be mums, we need to be teachers, we need to be wives, we need to be everything at the moment, but we are also ourselves, we're also people. So if you're not used to be with your kid, as you said, 24/7, no, don't beat yourself up if today you can't do all of the activities that you planned. It's good to plan activities. I've planned them as well for my children. But if one day you can't do them all, it's fine. You know, the world is not going to end. I actually discovered on my own skin that I'd rather be less activity with my child, but be less stressed out because I can't do it. So I do less, but be happier, you know, do less, but shout less as well to him because he's not listening or because he's not doing something. So really enjoy this time, as you said, discover your children, you know, get to know them, get to love them, and use this time to bond, really. Because there's always time to learn something academic. There's always time to learn maths, English, any other language. But the time to love our children is now. I think this new situation is putting ourselves in a new situation, clearly, you know, so we're not used to it. But maybe we do need it. Maybe the world needs a bit more love for our own children, you know. So this is the time to do it, to discover those things. So yes, we can teach them things, but I think at the moment what we need to teach them is to be kind to each other and to love them, and for them to love us as well. That's what we're doing in our house as well. We're taking it easy. We're doing the activities. We're doing crazy dancing in the living room. We really love music. We're just letting steam out and try to take it easy, because it's difficult. It's difficult for us. It's difficult for them. At the end of the day, it's difficult for everyone. We're all in a new situation. We're all adapting. So take it easy. Relax. If you can't do it, just go and have a scream, I don't know, in the bathroom or something. Just come back, relax, and just smile and just take it easy. Nothing is going to happen if you don't do math, English, French, German, and everything in one morning. Is fine. That's what I think.
Yeah, Alexandra, I totally agree with you. So we need to take it easy, just trying to communicate openly with your child and do it as much as you can in that day. Don't really worry about if you're not covering all the material of everything you need to do. Just there's kind of plenty of ideas that you can do anyway, and just stick to the kind of basics first, and then expand on other things if you just see how your child feels like to do, and you always kind of really you can feel your child what he wants to do and what not.
But you can also spark up conversation from anything, you know. You can be eating your dinner and, I don't know, your child asks you something, you know, where does banana comes from? And you can just start up a conversation learning about where the bananas come from. You know, it doesn't have to be from 8:30 to 9:30 we're going to do geography. You know, it can be spread out throughout the day from the conversation that you're having about daily life.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's where the key is to communicate openly, make time to make a routine. You kind of transfer the school routine to the homeschool, but it's a bit different because at home the child will will see it a bit differently, or we are all time at home, so they can do basically what they wanted to do. But kind of if they stick to the basic and say, well, we have transferred the school at home, so basically we'll do the morning the same as you're doing at school, and then we do the rest at home, and keep on the basic things, and then expand on the more throughout the day.
This is what we did. I don't have a school child, he is kindergarten, but we just simply continued doing what he was doing in the kindergarten, obviously without his friends, but he's been asking every morning, oh, can we do whatever maths today, can we read a book? And he has his specific times. He knows exactly that after lunch he's doing this, after breakfast he's going to do this, and we are not even prompting him anymore. He knows exactly what to do because we didn't change anything from his schedule in a kindergarten. And it's not very difficult, I realize, because he's keen to do all these things that reminds him of his kindergarten, and he likes doing it. And it's not very difficult at the end of the day. I also thought, oh my God, what we're going to do now with him. But then because we just continued what was in the kindergarten, it's very, very easy. And I also, I'm a member of a PTA here in Cyprus. It's Parents Teacher Association. And I post also little posts every day reminding to the parents of kindergarten children not to let it go, because it's very easy. And I see that very often when parents say, oh, my child is in kindergarten, I don't need to do anything. You actually have to, because when they get back to the school, and if they are not ready for reception, the school is not going to accept them for reception. Wow. And this is exactly the time when they have to be on top of everything. They need to start counting, they need to start learning a little bit of ABC, whatever they need to do. And it's very easy to find this information on the internet, as you said. It's very easy to do these days. So we absolutely need to take it easy, but at the same time, don't be too complacent, because there will be the results of not doing things, unfortunately. And I saw cases of children not being accepted in the reception because they missed something, and then they have to sit in the kindergarten for another year. So this is just my point of view, where I always kind of stress it to the parents when they say, no, we just play and we just do this. No, just do a little bit more, just a little bit more, and this will help your child. And also don't forget, in our case, those children between 3 and 4 years old, especially in this time, there is a lot of development going on. You don't want to miss this time. You want them to progress. If whatever you want them to be on top of whatever they can do. If they're interested, just grab this interest in something. And if like my child absolutely loves painting, this is like he loves it. It's like, okay, you're just going to do that. If you don't feel like doing maths today, you're just going to do painting all day long. It's fine. But tomorrow we will do something else. This is just my piece of advice. It's brilliant, to be honest. For me, I even prefer him to be at home now, because I realize his manners are so much better now. Because when he goes back to kindergarten, he comes back with a lot of stuff that I'm just like, oh my God, where did you learn it? Because we don't do this at home, obviously, yeah. But now he's just like, he does and behaves the way we want him to be, the way we raise him. And I'm pretty sure that when he gets back to the school, then we'll have to get all these habits back again. But this is just a funny kind of an anecdote. The way he is eating his food when he's in a kindergarten is just, you don't want to know. I don't know. He just picks up everything, yeah, from all the things that we don't do at home. This is what he does. But anyway, so what I say, yes, we take it easy, and he watches a little more cartoons than usual these days, which is fine, because he's missing his friends, and he's very very articulate about this. Maybe he's just consciously manipulating us, but he usually says, oh, if I watch one more cartoon, I won't be that sad. Okay, that's fine. he can get away with that. That's okay. So yeah, the situation, I think it's a unique one, and it's an opportunity. I agree with you, Alessandra, to bond with our children, because we're, by kind of delegating the responsibility for looking after our children to other people,
Yeah,
we lose the connection. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
so and this is a great opportunity to get it back and say, look, I know it's tough, it seems like it's a tough situation, but you just shift your focus. It's not tough, it's actually a great opportunity. And also another point very quickly, I consciously am not worried about my child, about the situation, about anything, because I don't want him to be afraid. He knows everything about the virus because we explained it to him, why we don't go out and why he's not allowed to go to the playground. But we also explained there's nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, nothing. Don't be negative around him. Don't talk about negative things or the news in front of the child, because subconsciously this is what will influence them. Yeah. So yes, virus is a serious thing. It's a pandemic, and we need to approach it, you know, in a serious manner. But at the same time, there is no reason to implant too much fear in our children and in ourselves, because only positivity will help us to get through this. Yeah. And yeah, that's it really.
Yeah,
Positivity.
thank you so much, Nat. Yeah.
Take it easy, and just not to be like, don't be too complacent. Sometimes, you know, we just tend to be all right, you know, just whatever. But just a little bit of regime and discipline is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nat, for this
My
comprehensive list. And Veronica, how about you? You have 3 children to look after.
Older than yours.
Yeah.
They are 16, 14, and 11, almost 12 in a month. And it's a bit different because it's not the case for me to stay next to them and engage in activities. They are quite independent. And, you know, it's easy for them to just lose their track because they are at home, and I'm so busy on building and creating content and learning myself on how to build this online business. And I intentionally let them go through this experience, and then in 2-3 weeks after so since they're at home, I come to them and I have a serious discussion about how do they see themselves and how do they progress and grow and invest in the time and energy in their skills, because they waste a lot of time watching movies or staying on TikTok, Instagram, or playing video games. And I don't blame and I don't shout at them. I just nicely and talk to them at an equal level. And I see that this works. So they realize that actually, yeah, I have to be, you know, more organized and more responsible for myself. And I always used to talk to them at this level. That helped them to build confidence, and they know what they want. You know, they have more clarity of what they have to do themselves. So this is what I'm doing now, and it is difficult. Of course, it is difficult because they have to be more organized, more responsible for themselves. And yes, but it's something that creates their and builds their character. And we schedule as well. We have to put what are our goals, and we made the list, and they have to check in. Did they do or not the task for certain day? And it's not always perfect, but we are working on that.
Yeah, everything is work in progress. I mean, every work you do is a tiny bit every day. It's a work in progress anyway. And I know with the teenagers it's more complicated because they had their independence, and they don't really like that somebody will come up with especially parents to come up with their ideas because they have their own ideas. But maybe it's a good idea for you to just say, look, we're working together, we are at home together, so let's just put on the paper what you want to do at a certain day, what you have from the school, because schools normally gives a pack of activities or a certain home activities that they would need to follow, and just to monitorize that, would be probably a good start and good.
And we always remind them, especially kids of my age, about the skills they have to get in life, because they are preparing themselves for independent adult life. And when you talk about that, they become more aware, or in a couple of years, I'm going to get a job, and if I'm not ready, that would be tough for me. So I just plant these seeds and try to make them more aware about themselves and about their future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's think about what specific solutions we can have to help the parents that are listening to us, because we all kind of have different backgrounds and have different solutions that we can give. For example, for those who have toddlers up to 5-year-olds, because I worked with a range of groups, and I can probably give some of the specific solutions. For example, I always encourage and praise the child if he did something, and stick to the routine. Always stick, because the children loves the routine, believe me or not, and they learn through repetition.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the kind of thing they do, they're more likely to engage in that, to do that again and again, but in more fun way, if I say. And they do it more and more, they will engage more and more in activities, and we just work together. Always give you 100%, because they will feel it. They definitely will feel it if you're not if you are not with them. And even though they get a lot of energy and your energy, and just do something together, and then relate kind of things. Or now with painting, they can do painting or any other activities they'd like by themselves, and then you encourage them, oh wow, and praise them, like, wow, that's amazing that you've done, and let's see what else we can do, or something, what else you can do, and then encourage them through that, and give yourself a pat on the back, because you're doing a great job, even they're noticing it, because we are in this situation together, and it's always good just to remind ourselves that we are doing a good job.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Having a toddler, also with the age range that you mentioned, I think I would like to add, my daughter absolutely loves cartoons, very specific cartoons that she likes watching, and now it has been quite difficult to limit the amount of time she's in front of the TV. So what I have done is, with the help of some, including her grandparents, but also some other friends I have, instead of watching, I make her listen to fairy tales. I think I have never known about this before, but there is a huge amount of fairy tales recorded, just the sound. Like we used to listen to, vinyl, thingies. And my mom was telling me that when I was little, I was listening to all kinds of fairy tales in the vinyl recordings. So we don't have those anymore, but we have the internet to help us. And this has been an amazing game changer. So she's interested in listening to the stories without having to be glued to the screen. So that's one tip that I'd like to share. I mean, I'm happy to share the links as well, although the stories are all in Russian. So for those who speak Russian, this could be helpful. But I'm sure it exists also in other languages, for sure, in English and others.
On Audible, you can find free resources for
Yeah.
children now, especially for this period of pandemic. You can access free resources for children.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
absolutely,
Excellent.
Veronica. Yeah, I could actually send a link to all the parents about audibles. I have great audibles that I received from even from the school, and I had my own resources. What I'm guided and I use as a guide. So
Cool.
yeah, that's absolutely, and that's plenty of resources on internet as well. It's just to pick of those and adapt to your children's needs, and yeah, you come up with different ideas in home. And actually, another thing that I would encourage parents to do is to involve children in the house chores.
Yeah.
I mean, even with just proper cleaning and tidying up, making a bed, the simple things that the children can do. Well, not kind of mention toddlers, because the toddlers, maybe with the toddlers, but the toddlers can actually see that from their
Oh,
yeah, and then they can eventually
yeah.
can copy them on making it as a fun game, or making a bed together, getting from the other side, or
Yeah, doing chores makes the
doing
child
chores.
feel useful for
Yes.
themselves. So you actually show them that you need their help, so they feel useful, so that they find a purpose as well. Being at home is not just watching TV. So I have a purpose as well. I can help mummy setting the table, for example, or I can help, dusting the table, or I don't know, something. But they will have a purpose if you show them, if you ask them to do something simple, they will find
Yeah.
pleasure with that, and they will feel like
Yeah.
they're useful to you.
Yeah, and here it's the asking should be in a manner that they feel that they contribute that,
Yeah.
like and not like a command, but
Yeah.
in a respectful way. That's like, I would need help. How about you just lay the table? Let's see how many both forks and knives, so napkins and things that.
Yeah, to involve them in their
children.
everyday life. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, because for some tasks my children are very not interested, and for some of them there is literally a fight going on. Who is going to vacuum clean? Who's going to wash the floor? It's incredible. They pull the broom from each other because they want it. So I sometimes just leave them with the vacuum cleaner, even if nothing is cleaned, but it's on, it's unplugged. I say, let them play, because they feel they contribute, even if it's their way. I let them do it. My husband hates the vacuum cleaner as a breed, so he just walks upstairs and I let the children play, and then what that phase kind of wanes, then I say, okay, now I give them the broom and then take the vacuum cleaner, and so they start washing the floor while I clean the other part of the apartment. So it's how to say, I only now during the discussion realized actually this was a good good management of resources at home.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially nowadays, we're prone to stay home, and finding activities that works for both of us, for all of us. That's incredible. Yeah, that's a good work in progress again.
Exactly.
Maybe from myself, I can add that we parents also need to have fun. We while we are doing activities with children, we also need to show that it's fun, and it's not just like, okay, because I have to do an activity with you now, let me do it quickly and then I'll go on with my chores or whatever. And as Sabina rightly mentioned, we need to be 100% with our children, because this is the time now, and this is what we're dealing with right now. And just try to have a lot of fun, and don't consider this as another duty that you have to do now. Shift the focus. That's actually fun. It's another opportunity to become a child again. I'm saying this is not very easy for me, but I know if I manage to get into this state of mind, I don't even notice how the time just goes by, and it's just so much fun. And this is when the actual bonding starts for me. And I really, really am working on myself to get this space for me and forget about the chores that I have to do. And I say, my child is this big only today. You know, tomorrow will be another day. And just focus on now and how we can have fun together. Even if we have to read the same book 5 times in a row because he loves it. Okay, let's do it. You know. So, and yeah, just to be present, be in the moment, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. That's it.
Yeah.
Very
Forget
good advice.
about anything else. Enjoy this beautiful, amazing time with our
Okay.
children.
Thank you, Nat. I think you've started kind of to wrap up about the timing and where we are at the moment. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and your even your struggles. And we've come up with a bit of solutions for parents who are in the same situations as all of us here. And what other final thoughts that you would suggest to parents who maybe didn't know what to do and what find a way through, go through the homeschooling in a better way and positive?
I would say,
Alexandra, please.
Yes, I would just say take it easy, relax, feel your timing, feel your child's timing, and don't overdo it. Follow your rhythm, and yes, enjoy your time with your kids.
yeah.
Veronica, how about you?
Yeah, I just agree with Alexandra because sometimes I too, too stressed, too stressed, and I feel that it is my children can mirror my state. So I think we have to be aware about how we are feeling ourselves. Try to find peace in our mind and in our heart, and be more gentle with ourselves and build our confidence. Do the best to be happy, to be positive, be a good example for our children, and they will follow, they will model us.
Thank you so much, Veronica. How about you, V?
Well, I
Do you
have
have
two main
thoughts?
thoughts I think to share. One is move away from trying to be a perfectionist. Don't do things perfectly because it's just going to kill everything. That's one. And two, actually, if you don't know what to do, listen to your child. You know, focus on what does your child show, what does the child manifest as interests, and follow that. And then, of course, if the child is already a school child, then see how you can chip in the math and the geology and all the other stuff and reading. But I think it's more important to have the natural flow, you know, with the child rather than, oh, I have 10 chores today and you have your assignments today, and, you know, you do your stuff and I do my stuff. You know, this is the time to be together. So don't be a perfectionist in terms of, you know, wiping every dust speck and you know, making the child do from A to Z every day. You know, make it a harmonious and a living being. You know, the relationship is a living being. So I speak for myself because this is my problem. You know, I'm a little bit too strict, and I realized I've learned through this period to learn to combine and be more listening and flexible on my demands, you know.
Yeah, thank you so much, V. I think we're all learning from our experience together, and it's important to stay grounded at the same time, and it's just important to connect better with our child, because that's the time we have together. And it's I can't stress enough of how important it is to make this connection, to be better and engage in the activities that, and then as Nat mentioned, just remind yourself that you have been a child as well, so it's a time when you can explore this more and do activities that you enjoy most. And remind yourself that you're doing a great job. Honestly, it's something that we forget about it, and we need to kind of remind ourselves to do that, and praise ourselves and praise our children at the same time, because it's a challenging time, and if we are keeping on the positiveness, that our relationship will flourish, and connection will be better. So I think that's what I see myself. Being positive, and we know we need to kind of be aware what's happening, but at the same time to be grounded and say that's the situation nowadays. I do love how my child is seeing this as these bugs, because I've explained him this, because he was asking why we're not allowed to go outside, and say, well, there's bugs around, and they are because I need to explain on his level understanding, because there's bugs around, and if they see anybody there outside, they will just grab them, and then they'll get even bigger, or they will it's just not you see, because I show him outside, there's nobody except from going doing exercises, because we're in the UK, over there in Belgium or Cyprus, allowed to go on the streets for the exercise. I'm not sure, but in the UK you have one sort of exercise per day, and we're going for walks, regular walks, and exercise with taking the bikes outside. We even played football the other day on the field that we discovered in the neighborhood, which was really like crazy, but it was a lot of fun. I've seen another dad playing with his kids, so I thought another day, well, I'll come around for another day and I'll play football with my little boy. Why not?
Awesome.
And he found it really interesting and nice. So, and explain him all the time that we are all like going outside and inside, but we need to keep away from the bugs, because that's people getting the bugs, and it's not nice when you have the bugs and you feel awful about this. So yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, mummies, for giving us this conversation about the topic homeschooling today, and I hope we've covered the most. I think we've covered most of the this topic, and hope that will be of use and for other parents as well. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking your time to share knowledge on this topic of homeschooling. We will have more topics to discuss every week. So if you like, please subscribe to the bell button below to more of insights of more topics, for motherhood, and topics of mindfulness and spirituality, and all of other things that can help you gain the confidence and gain the positiveness throughout this epidemic that we have at the moment. So hope you like, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Bye.